morning, everyone. Happy Sunday, November the 10th, 2024. We are rapidly coming to the close of 2024, and man, has it been a year. Sunday morning with Gary Cardone. I must say, I get really nervous doing these shows. Making me prepare quite a bit and think about what I'm doing. I'm probably putting more attention on this, quite frankly, than some of the other stuff that I do. It seems to come very, very natural to me. Maybe it's because I've been doing it my whole life. But like preparing for this, I just feel like this is really, really important. Getting a little grief from people about, hey, what are you doing? I mean, that's a little bit over the top. Church with Cardone. There were 3,000 people in this room last Sunday, and it really blew me away. Because what I had to think about was, when was the last time I was in a church of any type? I don't care if it was virtual, real, or whatever. I can't remember the last time, except maybe in the Notre Dame in France, when there was probably 1,500 people doing a service in Latin. 3,000 people in a room that I haven't advertised, spent zero money. By the way, I've spent no money. In fact, somebody spent some money doing advertising on my platform, and I let them go because I want this all to be organic. I actually believe that humanity is looking for something right now, and the more that we can provide avenues into truth, and I think this is a platform that's going to allow, at least for me, to share my truth, and hopefully others will have preceded me and will follow. And people can come and go if they like this room, if they like this community that we're building, that I'm desiring to build a really cool community of people, non-political, apolitical, but that doesn't mean that we don't want something. Like the community that's going to be really attracted to me and to the world, the people that I think are coming into this group, or people that believe in freedom, transparency, access to all who are legal. I think the world should be open to everyone to participate, as long as they're legitimate players and there's toing and froing, there's value back and forth, which is, by the way, what we are going to talk about today. We're going to talk about value. And the difficulty I think that mankind has with qualifying value, and maybe quantifying and qualifying value. Oscar Wilde said once, he said that people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. And I found that to be really, really staggering. Someone told me that once, about 4 years ago. I was dealing with an issue, and he said, yeah, that's a phenomena that you basically have someone that knows everything down to the penny. I mean, these people will drive 10 miles to save 7 cents on a gallon of gasoline. Now, for me, I would rather, I'm not even sure that's economic, to go another 20 minutes to and from to save 7 cents. Those very people then do everything they can to drive the car back into the garage, and then make sure they store the car in the garage and don't use the fuel. See, I don't understand that. It's a little bit like praying and then still being scared. Like, if I pray and I really believe in whatever I'm praying to, I should be able to release the fear and move on and do action. So we're going to talk about value today. Why am I doing this? The reason I'm doing this is because I have been very, shall we say, critical of education and massively critical of religion. Um, right or wrong, I feel like I have not found a religion that offers me truth. It's just like, sorry, it just comes down to one thing. Hey, I just want to know the truth. I think I can handle it, and it's nearly impossible, if not impossible, for me to do the best I possibly can if I'm living under a bunch of false premise, false pretense, false philosophies. Um, so, value versus being able to quantify something mathematically. Um, this conversation is going to take me a few places, and this is not a financial, like I have no intention on Sundays of talking about Bitcoin or finances, or I will talk about prosperity, however, because I think they're highly correlated to, if we're going to call this religion or spirituality or us becoming better, that's what I'm attempting to do here. And I would hope that like 3,000 people open rooms on Sunday. We could have 3,000 churches going. Imagine that. 3,000 churches on a Sunday. I've done this twice now. This is my third session. 3,000 people in a room on last Sunday. I'm like, wow, dude, there's a lot of people that want to commune. There's a lot of people that want value. They don't know how to get it. Now, let's examine some value here. And this is why it's impossible for me not to bring in technology and some finance to value, because I think that's the way humans think. They think in numbers. In fact, I think humans have a very, very difficult time thinking in large numbers. Within a band of numbers, they're awesome. But after a certain value, a certain numerical value, they lose an understanding to be able to picture. For instance, you cannot picture a trillion. Most people will most certainly. In fact, if you would like to do a little scientific survey here, all of you take your pencil out, and you should have a pencil at these sessions. Hopefully there'll be some valuable things to take away, but write down 1 trillion. And you're going to find that it's going to be very, very difficult for you to write down 1 trillion without making a mistake, and you won't be able to do it without the commas. So do that. And 1 trillion is far bigger than 1 billion. We're talking about factors and step changes. So where's the money part of this? For instance, value. People talk about owning homes, and a couple, Bob and Mary, get married. Bob and Mary get married, they get engaged, and then they go buy a house, and they're going to make babies, and they're going to have a wonderful, special, masterful life. But I think they made a mistake. I think the first thing they do is, we're going to have a great life. We're going to be together. We're going to be love and romance and lilies and champagne every day, and life is wonderful. And then they go buy a house, and Bob and Mary? Yeah, Bob and Mary got married. Bob is now not just a husband and an employee, or maybe the owner of a company, but he's also now responsible for this massive debt that he's just stuck around his neck, this dream of living in a white picket fence. And what's Bob doing on a Saturday? He's not, or a Sunday, he's not at church, actually. He's not in bed with his wife, having fun with her in the early stages, mid stages, or late stages of a marriage. He's not having fun with her. He's actually headed up on a ladder. This value thing. Now, also, you've entered risk, because, there's a fair likelihood he's going to fall off the ladder. I can't remember how many ladder accidents there are a year, but there are a lot. Somebody grok it. So he's up on the roof now, got married. He was hoping to have sex on the Sunday. hang out by the pool, read a book, but instead he's up on a roof doing something that not only does he hate doing, but he's not even good at, doesn't know how to do it well, and most likely he will make a mistake and break his face. All along he's breaking his marriage because like the value of them getting together had nothing to do with him getting leaves off of a roof or becoming the plumber for the house that you just engaged in but didn't really buy. You actually acquired a debt. And this is what I'm talking about, value. I think people really really don't know how to value things. And this is why I look at Bitcoin, and it's very, very clear to me that humanity has never seen anything that's finite. Humanity, you have never seen anything finite in your life. Most certainly you own nothing that's finite except your own thoughts. That's it. And many of those thoughts, in fact, may be not original, but I'm not going to go there. That's a very different discussion. Would love to have the discussion someday, and probably need somebody far smarter than me to have that conversation. But when people, for instance, I found it absolutely phenomenal that people were loading into social media sites like Facebook and loading into free, thinking or going into Starbucks when the head of Starbucks decided to open the doors to every homeless person on the planet to use the bathroom. I stopped going to Starbucks. In fact, I don't like free. I think free is a lie. There is nothing free on this planet. The only thing that's free, we use the least of. The only true value we have as human beings, in my opinion, we don't use. We not only do we not fully use it, we don't value it, and we don't admire it. And I think if you don't admire something, you most certainly don't value it. And if you don't admire it, then what you're going to do is you're going to want to place a price tag on it, right? Oh, that's worth $4.95. Now, I'm not going to buy any value for $4.95, guys. There's no value on the planet that I'm buying for $4.95. Not anything of high quality is going to just show up at $4.95 a month. I'm going to give up something. Now, having said that, if we truly value the right things in life, we may find, for instance, it's better to pay $400 for crude oil or $7 for gasoline than to have constant wars. I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe paying a little bit more for the gasoline instead of having 8 million ships all over the place, us killing people all the time, day in and day out. Okay, there isn't a human being on this planet that's bought gasoline that's not part of the problem. Okay, you guys talk about buying blood diamonds and all that stuff. Try driving your car without anybody dying. Try using a US dollar without anyone dying in a war that you didn't even approve of, didn't know what was happening, didn't vote for the guy that went to war, had no interest in the bloody country that's doing it. I would literally rather pay $12 for gasoline than go to war. I would be okay with the government voluntarily going to all the super rich people and going, hey, look, do you really need Medicare? Do you really need Social Security? I'm cool giving it up personally. Even if we give it up, the government still can't afford it. So we've got ourselves in this box where people want money, they want numbers, they want dollars. I want a paycheck. Okay, good. You got a paycheck, union. You guys that did the strike um, on the ports, awesome. You're going to get a what, 40, 50, 60% premium for 2 years. Okay. And then you're going to get replaced with robotics, and you're going to get replaced with AI. And the reason you're going to get replaced is the value that you're bringing to the market relative to the friction that you deliver. So what you're taking and the value that you're actually delivering, I think your value is collapsing and you're expecting more for it. Why do I think it's collapsing? Because you don't work 40 hours a week anymore. You work 32. You don't think about your work on Saturdays and Sundays, and that's okay. I'm not suggesting you do, but if you're not contributing to advancement, then why do you continue to expect to get an escalated income? Oh gosh, we have inflation. I deserve an escalated income. Well, maybe you should add more value. See, we can't have more Netflix coming into our house and giving us all this data, streaming this, streaming that, ease of everything. And prices are falling. We're just being given a bunch of stuff. The problem is you're not being given everything. You're being censored. Okay. They're now telling you what you can and cannot watch for $4.95 or less. I would rather pay $9.95 or $30 or $300 or not participate at all. Okay. But think about this. Okay. About the only thing that's going to make sense here, and even that's corruptible, is the economic value exchange of decentralized everything. What I'm doing right here, and this is not a pitch. I'll get grief from certain people over this, but these are the programs, and this is the value you should be promoting. Notice there are no advertisers behind me. I am not a prostitute. I will not prostitute myself. Okay, I will not do this, and I won't. And the cool thing is, I'm wealthy enough not to have to. And this is the reason to get rich. Okay, like the God that I believe in wants me powerful. He wants me to have impact. Okay, valuable, lasting, sustainable impact that creates a ripple effect into future generations. There is nothing more than I can do that's more important than that. Create a positive ripple effect that pushes out into the future of the universe. And like you start impacting one or two people in a positive way, it is unbelievable the magic that can happen. So what I mean about this value, I've had no less than 12 people come to me in the last year say, hey, I want to advertise with you. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I'm like, I'm just not comfortable with the old paradigm. See, the old paradigm was you would get a sponsor, they would support you, and you would go and deliver your content and then do a pitch for them. Whether you knew their product or not, you're just pitching the product, right? You get on a 1 or 2 or 3 year contract and blah, blah. But look, it's wrong. You're given $4.95. You should find your leaders, your pastors, your mentors, and give them $1. Okay. There's 1,300 people in here. Okay. I don't ask for a donation here. I'm not going to ask for a donation. But if you were in a church and they started passing the basket around, you would understand immediately, okay, what's going on. This priest lives in the church and he surrendered part of his life or all of his life to help, with theology and philosophy and listening and core principles, first principles that make and determine whether a society is going to be sustainable, wealthy, prosperous, and happy, or whether it's going to be a collection of trash, low ethics, low morals, extremism. We don't need any more extremism on this planet. Okay. What we need is love, and we need the ability to judge something in a way that doesn't immediately quantify it. And I think this is why I got so absolutely excited about Bitcoin. Once I understood Bitcoin, and just hang with me, okay? Don't get turned off by me talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a coded, systematic asset that has a schedule by which it will come into the market, and there's nothing that can break that schedule. That is finite. It has a schedule that cannot be mutated or changed, a forward schedule. And I know now, and I knew at 15,000 and 27,000 and 57,000 and now 79,000, that Bitcoin is grossly undervalued. And the reason is because humanity has no way of understanding finite. In fact, the only finite, and this, I do think this dovetails into this discussion of value. If you have never seen finite, and we could use God, okay, I could use, oh God, there's only one God. Okay, well, I don't really know what God is, so I'm going to stay off of that. But think of yourself, ask yourself, in fact, write down, what is finite in my universe? Now, there is one thing that closely, but not perfectly, closely resembles Bitcoin in its uniqueness, in its inability to copy, duplicate, mutate. Not mutate, but copy and duplicate. I'm an identical twin, but for those that know my twin versus knowing me, you will know we are massively different. Like we are really, really unique entities, okay? Our value proposition and what we bring to the table, to the world, is very different. Not right or wrong, it's just very different. Now, what happens when a bald guy, I was on a call with a guy yesterday, and I was going through this exercise with him. Bitcoin is finite. There's only one of it. Ain't going to ever be another one, okay? Dogecoin's not Bitcoin. ADA is not Bitcoin. US dollars aren't Bitcoin. XRP is not Bitcoin. Okay, there's only one of these, and it was coded specifically because there isn't anything finite. And the thing that is finite, by the way, me, you, the bald guy that looks at my hair and goes, dude, he's got hair. Let's see, the traditional guy, they're like, hey, what's Gary doing? What's Gary doing holding a church? Okay, this is what I'm trying to say to you. Look around, just look at me right now and criticize one thing. Like, there's going to be something about me. Either, hey, I don't like his coat, I don't like his wrinkles, whatever, his dark eye, I don't like the way he talks, whatever. Notice how much easier it is to determine the difference between another thing and yourself. Or, in my opinion, IQ is really down to one thing: the ability to be able to differentiate and to understand similarities and not to confuse those two things. There are differences. Me and my brother and I have many similarities. Most of them are physical. Some of them are vocal. Many of them are our approach to doing things, but our approach is quite different. But this kind of chip on the shoulder, most certainly that's a common thread, but it kind of ends there. I'm very artistic. I've never really worried about money. I've taken massive risk. He's been very methodical, um, very focused, always focused on the number. And, and he and I have had our difficulties. Like I see him, I immediately see some differences, or I see some similarities that I hate in myself. And I immediately want to, I wish he wouldn't say that. Look, I walk around all day long judging people, absolutely judging people all day long. And this is what we do. Human beings for centuries have done nothing but go to war with each other. We do not know how to value unique and finite. This is my thesis. Humanity has never seen finite. It thinks that everything is replicable, duplicable. Hey, I don't care. Shoot it in the face. There'll be another one shows up. We literally destroy the only great, valuable, unique things that we know of. What is the difference between me and a dog, or me and a community? I have original ability to have a vision, a picture, maybe not original. I don't want to go to the original, but I can imagine. My imagination is unique to me, and my brother's imagination is unique to him. This is why I cannot possibly tell my children what to do with their careers, nor would I attempt to influence them to come into any career that I have. I don't know who they are, really. It's hard enough for me to know who I am. I mean, dude, if you know who you are, please come into this stage and let me know. I have to do things like this, force myself into massive amounts of action. Notice what I do. I trick myself, okay? Like I don't trust myself anymore. I trust that I have this phenomena that goes on with me. And the only way for me to get through the bloody phenomena is for me to do crazy things like 2 weeks ago, light up a bloody show and go, hey, we're having church with Gary. And 1,500 people show up, and then 3,000 people show up last week. I thought that was a great show, okay? I am a great teacher. I've been saying this to myself since I was 25 years old. I want to be a teacher, man. And I just kind of let it go. But I was literally saying, I am a great teacher. And here we are 30, 40 years later, and I'm teaching. And I think I'm actually not terrible at it. Not perfect by any means in any category. Not perfect at all. Corey, thank you for coming in. I'm going to just chat here for a little bit. You're welcome to stay there. And if we do a little Q&A after, that's cool. But I don't promise to bring anybody up today. So again, we're talking about value, right? And last week we had a session on I am, the power of these two words. I am valuable. See, if I start thinking in terms of, I would get off of, I've never been this, hey, I am a billionaire. Who cares if you're a billionaire? Like I'm having lunch with one Wednesday. I'm having lunch with 2 billionaires Wednesday. Big deal. Who cares? Everybody's got planes, whatever. Okay. One of them's got shitloads of real estate. One of them's got shitloads of Bitcoin. So what? See, what's really matters is, I'm in trouble. I need help. Did the really super rich guy actually pick up the phone, or did I become a problem? Does the rich guy only, if your I am is I am rich, wealthy, super rich, own yachts, I know a lot of people that have all that stuff, and they're not nice people. I'm not saying the 2 guys I'm getting ready to meet Wednesday are not nice people, but just because you have a lot of money does not mean you're nice or good or happy or as productive as you could be. Here I am in the last stages of my life, probably the last 20% of my lifetime, and I'm still to this day asking very, very fundamental questions. Okay. And so I have to like maybe one thing I have been really, really good at my whole life is I am like, I just would not, I am not a very easy person to um, turn into a cult. Like, I'm just not like, I don't join clubs very well. I don't actually believe in clubs, okay, or teams. I mean, I believe in teams, but I think at some point, yeah, it's not, hey, I'm going to support my team no matter what. Um, I'm going to support my team if your values stay in line. Like I spent 17 years at a company, made a lot of money, but at the last year, I was in meetings and having to do things I didn't agree with. Fundamentally, as a human being, I just did not agree with it. And that was the major impetus for me to leave. And that was the reason I was having the headaches. Hey, I don't agree with the messaging a public company is giving to uh, innocent shareholders that don't really know. Um, but let's get back. Let's get back to this thing about other human beings. If you understand what I'm talking about, how much war we have, how much as soon as we meet someone that looks different, dark, white, rich, poor, homeless, super rich. You see a guy get off of a 650 ER, and he's 60 years old. And he's got a 40-year-old girl with him, 35-year-old girl with him. What do you think immediately? You digging him? Or you like, shit, what's he doing, dude? Yeah, every time I judge somebody like that, I'm like, hey, what would I be doing with my life? Would I be happy? Um, am I living the life that I really should be living? Probably not. Probably not, man. So when people ask me, hey, how you doing? My answer is always probably a lot better than I deserve to be doing. I think about the amount of people, 40% of the people on this planet still cook on wood. I mean, if you really want cheap fuel, you can go live in with 40 to 45% of the rest of the free world. 36% of them make $2 or less. 40% of them cook on wood. That means they wake up in the morning, they walk 2 miles to the river, they get dirty water, they then bring it back, the fire's hot, and they boil the water. And they can't even make a living because they don't even have clean water, man. I mean, talk about value. Now, the value between that whole tribe becomes very, very, very important. Notice they don't just go killing each other. They actually know that they exist as a group much better and in a healthier way than if they are isolated and polarized, which is what our government and some other nasty, nasty, nasty human beings, no value, zero value, suck value, negative value. They take value from everything. They are parasites. I think the greatest value humanity could bring right now would be that we all start speaking up, and you start saying no to these animals. Okay, freedom's not free, guys. I think that's what I'm trying to get to. Okay, value and freedom are grossly misunderstood. Okay, freedom ain't free. I don't care who you're voting for. I don't care what economic class you're in. I heard somebody say the other day, how's anybody going to buy $70,000 Bitcoin? I can go work 40 hours more a week, dude. I know people that work 120 hours a week. Not one of those people tell me they can't buy Bitcoin. Now, why is that? I know dozens of people that work 120 hours a week, and not one of them tell me they can't buy Bitcoin at 70 grand. Yet I hear from you, because you're only bought 0.1 Bitcoin over the last 5 years. I hear from you, you can't do it. It's because you don't value your time. You don't value your life. And you must have some gross misunderstanding on what's getting ready to happen here. because you literally are investing in something that has no value, is literally just made up out of thin air. And then you see a product, a technology with other people going to it, and you look at it and you go, I can't understand that. And it's because you can't quantify it. And the funny thing is, if you looked at Bitcoin and you said, wow, I can quantify this, and everything else is not quantifiable. You can't count it, and you can't, most certainly, you can't assure that it doesn't get accelerated or duplicated, or just written out of the rules, right? You can't write Bitcoin out of the rules. Again, this is not a financial meeting. This is about understanding what is value, okay? And I think there's a lot of things in life that are more important than a number. For instance, I fly private. People have made fun of me. They have looked at me with judgment. They've said that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Heard it the other day, and I agree with you. Flying private makes absolutely no sense. There is absolutely no way you can economically justify it unless you, like me, I am unwilling, absolutely unwilling to do what the masses do. One of my values is the ability to be able to see the truth. And in humanity's history, that which we've been allowed to read, there's no time in history where the masses made the right decision. No time in history have the masses of humanity ever been right on anything. Please let me know when that was. Never. So immediately when I see a big long line, I'm getting in a different line. It's always been that way for me, but now I'm pretty brutal about it. I mean, I will spend so much money not getting in a line with a bunch of people. I'm not claustrophobic. I actually like people. One of the downsides of flying private is I don't interact with as many people, but I also don't get touched, handled, managed, controlled, told to sit down, stand up, take my belt off, remove this, remove that, put that on, touch this, touch that by IQs of 60, 70, 80, okay? It's absolutely ridiculous. I will not do it. I'm not going to have someone, like I get to pay for a ticket. I'm not even guaranteed to get on the plane. If I have an attitude, if I'm wearing a certain shirt, can't get on, fuck you guys, dude. I'm not doing that, okay? I value my freedom. I value my freedom, everything I create, my ideas. I get really irritated when people start stealing my personality and putting it on X, pretending to be me. I think that, see, to me, that is a felony. You should not be able to duplicate people's representation of themselves. It's the only thing we have that's unique. The only thing on this planet you cannot, and maybe one day we'll code this away where there'll be a Gary Cardone. We can just create you forever and ever. Whatever. Okay, maybe we'll get there, but right now, there's no one replicating me. Nothing, no engine, no computer, nothing. And there has to be some value for that, right? I must be here for a reason. I didn't just show up. And that means you're here for a reason. Okay, it can't possibly be to make $11.99 an hour. See, and that's the other thing. You cannot think of your time in hours and price them correctly. Not possibly. If you do, and this is why Donald Trump's going to make massive changes. If you believe in that, then a 76-year-old man that's got 1,500 days from today or yesterday to effectuate change, that man is going to be on a tight wire. A fuse is clocking down for him. He's been around 76 years. He's been around, what, 210,000 days or something? and he's got another 1,500 TikTok. For him, it's TikTok. See, the value I place. Do you notice that older people, as they get older, they spend a lot less money, which is where we're at right now. If you're not looking at economics, you should look at this demographic cliff that we have completely fallen off of. And all the people with all the money, like myself, the boomers that you guys laugh about, well, they're one, they have all the money, and two, I think their spending is dropping by the year. 70-year-old people don't need multiple homes, jets. They don't go on lots of holidays. They're chilling, man. Okay. And guess what they're doing? They're doing things that are more valuable to them. They're spending time with their granddaughters. They're spending time with their daughters. They're spending time with family, or they're alone, counting their money, looking at their stock portfolio, desperately wondering what the hell happened to the last 60 years. And they have very few friends, but they have a bunch of stocks that have gone up. Oh, isn't that awesome? It terrified me at the age of 32 years old. And I think because my dad died when I was young, I always think of this, but hey, what are people going to think of me when I'm dead? At 32 years old, I realized people would go to my funeral and they would get, he was an awesome trader. He was a really good deal guy. Wow, he was the first CEO in Europe. Like, who cares, man? That is ridiculous to be, though that's what I'm great at. That's what I'm known for. Today, I don't think anybody would say that about me. I don't know what you would say about me. But right now, I'm doing what I can to be of value to you, be of value to other people. Like, I actually want to be additive to the planet. I don't want to be a parasite. That's the first thing that you have to, I am a productive member of society. Remember last week? I am. Time. That's where I'm trying to get to. Okay. Time is limited. It is finite for you and I. I don't believe time is finite, but I believe time, as you and I understand time, is finite. As Bitcoin is finite. The difference is I can predict when Bitcoin's volume changes with extreme certainty. I have no clue how long my brother's going to be alive. He could drop dead right now. I could drop dead doing this. There's no certainty of this. And it's very hard for mankind, I think, to actually confront this because it's so scary. Okay. But if you did confront it, man, would we all be more productive? I think we would be. So what I'm talking about is opportunity, right? Opportunity. For instance, the guy that takes 30 minutes to go do something to save a couple of dollars. Okay, well, if you think you're worth $50 an hour, why did you drive 30 minutes to save $2? If you think you're worth $5,000 an hour, which, by the way, I think people should actually ask themselves, hey, what am I worth? Okay, here's an exercise. And this is why this is so cool for me to do. Look, this is just like me painting. And I'm just going to say this out loud so I can hear myself say it. The best artwork I have ever been happy with that I've created has been artwork where I go in and I literally slow down and I go, hey, look, I'm here. The paint's here. What do you want me to do? And I treat myself as if I am the brush. I am no more important than the brush or the paint. In fact, not even sure without the brush and the paint. Well, without the paint, I'm not sure what I could do. And then I just become that instrument, right? And just let go and just do and don't question. Just do it. And I'm doing that right now. And I think what I'm learning is that what I'm just taking the risk, man. See, this is why the value piece, I don't think anything of great value comes from without any risk. I don't think it just falls in your lap. Not the stuff that you're going to be really excited about and want to do. Well, why would it be that I would get more nervous to do something like this than go on a speaking presentation in Miami in front of 300 people? Doesn't bother me at all. I come do this. To me, this is really, really important. That's why I can do that right off the top of my head. Doing this will change people's lives. I wish we had 50 great speakers, philosophers, and people that are, their egos are balanced enough that they don't portray to the world that they have some edge over them. I have no edge over anyone. I'm not better, worse. I do make decisions really well. I hold on to a belief system extremely long. And the thing that I value the most is my freedom. My freedom from your imagination of what I should be. My mother, fathers, kids, ex-wives, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever they are, what they think I should be. There is only one entity on this planet that knows what I should be. And it's even difficult to really understand what I can be until I just go do it. Okay, I just launch into it just like I did last week. Notice what I said. I will hold these meetings if 3,000 people are in the room. And or 2,000, quite frankly, or 500. You show up with 2,000 people in a room in 30 minutes in a church, man. What's going on this planet? You guys understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't expect this. These are bigger than finance shows. Third one. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a religious person. I'm not a religious person at all. I actually think religion has done so much harm to this planet. Organized religion. Furthermore, I have a general rule. General rule basically says if there is opaqueness, if there is any lack of transparency, I'm out. Okay, don't come in here and tell me you're going to teach me the truth and then a good 20% of all the novels and all the writings ever in the history of mankind have been either altered or acquired and stored in some place that I can't get to and see or have availability to. Instead, I'm given something called Wikipedia that's so doctored it's ridiculous, or an encyclopedia that's been written, or a new Bible, or a second Bible, or 13th Bible. Come on, man. Okay? Like every time humans get involved, we start twisting shit because we don't think you can handle it. And if we do think you can handle it, it's because we're scared you're going to handle it so well, you're going to take something from us. Mike Mack said he agrees with almost everything being said here. Look, all I'm trying to do is stir up thoughts. All I'm trying to do here is express one man's. You know what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to be authentic, which, by the way, I think is at all-time low across planet Earth, one of the rarest commodities on the planet that has extreme quantities of that are trapped in the minds of human beings, in the minds and the cultures that the parents taught them in their own little made-up universe of their freedom, yet they will walk around, go into an office every day and be scared to communicate who they really are and what they believe in. It's crazy, man. On a schedule, I would ask everyone to get a piece of paper because I'm going to ask you a question that's going to be tough, man. Okay? It's going to be really tough. On a scale from 1 to 10, in fact, I'd like you to draw a scale 1 to 10 with a line. 1, 10, 5's in the middle, right? And under it, I'll do it with you. Under it, we're going to write the word authentic, right? So we end up with a little chart that looks like this, right? Authentic. And is it 1 to 10? I want you to tell me, where are you in terms of authentic? You could actually do this, dude. I am authentic with my office. 3. I am authentic with my girlfriend. 7. You started going through this, okay? No one is going to list 10. No one. Please do this, guys. Got 10 seconds. Let's sit there and think about it. If you don't have a piece of paper, you're driving down the road, I want you to be freaking honest with yourself. On whole, how authentic are you every day? If you have a hard time answering that question, ask yourself, how unauthentic are you every day? You guys that can't answer a question sometimes, this is really normal, right? By the way, don't shame yourself for going, hey, I can't even answer the question. Invert the question. If you have a hard time, this is what I want to do for a career. Most people don't know what they want to do for a career, man. What don't you want to do for a career? Get all that out of the way. See how, like, this is simple. Why didn't anybody teach you this in school, dude? Is that valuable? That one lesson right there, is that valuable? I think it's worth tens of thousands of dollars, that one lesson, okay? Like, I would pay tens of thousands of dollars to never, ever have to learn that lesson again. Oh, wow. There is no way I can't answer questions. I don't know why you psychologists can't figure this out. What do you want to do for a career? Don't know. Good. What don't you want to do for a career? Okay. What do you want with a girlfriend or a wife or a husband? I don't know, man. There's just so many choices. Okay. Well, which one don't you want? What kind of job don't you want, man? Okay. How evil is it okay for you to be? Is it okay for you to manipulate? Oh, yeah, I'm a master manipulator, dude. I'm Machiavellian 2.0. Okay, well, I don't want to be like that, okay? I just want to be authentic, because I think that authentic can't be duplicated, can't be copied. It can't be, you might copy it, but you're still not, it's not going to be your authentic thing. And by the way, if you're truly authentic, you're not going to copy. The only way you would copy is if your authenticity confronted that, hey, I am the master copier. It's cool. There's probably great counterfeiters out there. See, I think this authenticity thing, it's so scary. We just went through the last 8, 10, 12, 15 years of I think, really low authenticity. And it's got so many bizarre little threads to it. I mean, I'm scared sometimes to come on here, these eyes, I'm like, give me the makeup. And, I'm not going to do that, dude. I am not going to do this shit. Okay. This is what I look like. I'm not going to stick a bunch of Botox in my face. I mean, I'll do a lot to have a healthy life, but like to start changing the way I look so that you think I'm better, what other reason would I be doing? I don't look at myself all the time. It's only you that I'm worried about responding. And then I start looking at other people and go, wow, look at these other people. They don't look like this. So I think our authenticity in the last 12, 15 years has been at an all-time low. My belief is that we are in a cycle where we're so far removed from authenticity, true value. If I can't trust you, how could you possibly be valuable to me? How, if I'm sleeping with someone and I don't trust them, how could I possibly value that relationship? I don't want to live that way. And if that means I have to live alone, I will. If that means, because I can barely trust myself. I mean, it's a lot to ask a human being to say, hey, how valuable are you? How authentic are you? And what are you going to do about it? Because I believe if you marked your authenticity down as anywhere from a 3 to a 9, there isn't anybody that deserves a 9. I don't deserve a 9. And I'm about as authentic. I've had people, that have known a lot of people, and they've known me fairly intimately. Dude, you're about the most authentic human being I've ever met. I actually live in the present as much as I possibly can. And that's why it's like, see, doing this, putting myself out there, like smack. What am I saying to you when I come do these? Y'all may not know this. This is not as easy as it may look. I know it may look like I find it easy, but all I'm doing is being authentic. So it shouldn't be that hard, okay? The difficult part is, do I want to share this with, what if they, I'm not perfect. Well, who is? How could I not do this? I would ask you. Other than my ego saying, hey, what are you doing? Somebody else should have done this. Part of my mind right now, to be quite frank, is I could probably find myself in the new administration with a part-time or a full-time job. But if I'm really authentic, I can do more good right here. I can. I'm going to be dealing with a bunch of politics and people, and there are more people that can fit in the administration and work their magic and do their things and have their career. And there are some people that need to, be left alone, do whatever they want to do. I mean, you are the only one that can determine where you fit, where you're. The cool thing is, though, by me doing these things, like last week saying, okay, I'll be here next week. See, if I tell you that I'm going to be here next week, not just tell you, but tell others, and I schedule it. I trick myself all the time. I do the schedule. I commit first, then I get my act together. Because one of the things that I value is intention and follow through. If you tell me you're going to do something, I expect you to do it. I arranged a meeting last week for next week with a billionaire, with another billionaire, and 4 times the guy said, hey, are we confirmed? I'm like, bro, I confirmed the first time. Now he must not know me well enough. It's funny because of the 3 people, he knows me the best. And he might just have a lot of stuff going on right now. But if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm in, because it's my core, like, unless, and I do miss meetings, people are here going, well, he missed a meeting with me. Yeah, I do. My schedule's stupid. I try not to, but on something like this, I would never miss this unless it was, in fact, I spent 2 hours preparing for it, all nervous. And of course, I'm not doing anything I said I was going to do in the prep. So we're at authenticity, we're at value, we're at freedom, truth, honesty. See, these are the things. These are the things that are so valuable to me. Is the freedom. Freedom to think and be who I want to be without somebody saying that I have to do something because that's the way humans do it. To be able to how cool it would be to be able to, like, just be unique enough that you share, that someone else on the planet saw that and they were like, I'm going to be brave enough to be myself today. And if you, I'm not going to try and talk you into being authentic today. All you have to do is look around at the world and notice the people that are authentic are very few and far between. And I don't think there's anyone that when you truly look at their authenticity, if they're being honest and they have truth. I'm not talking about somebody that's, hey, I like, doing weird things to weird animals. Oh, I'm authentic, man. There's something going on there, right? That's, I mean, yeah, there's something going on there. The value proposition between, it shouldn't be parasitic. Shouldn't be parasitic. So many value exchanges are parasitic. Again, this is about understanding numbers. And I know people that can understand numbers down to the penny, but they do not understand value. Okay. For instance, I would prefer a lawyer that's paid more than really the cheaper lawyer. That's probably not a great example. Last night, here's an example. Maybe I'm bragging. I took my two of my girls for home. They've got whatever they, every year what home. Anyway, the annual high school party they do once a year. I had the luxury of going and shopping for dresses. Now I'm very good at buying women's clothes, but when it comes to your daughters, it's a little more challenging, man. The amount of confusion in their universe. Homecoming, yes, that's it. Thank you, Joanne. And that really exhausts me. This exercise really exhausts me with these two girls. But I came home. One of my oldest daughter, my left leg's killing me. I pulled something, and we know the fish are biting 40 feet off our dock. And at 8:30 at night, man, I get in the boat, and a little tiny boat, fall out of the boat twice last night. We catch a fish this big, my daughter does. I catch one this big. She catches one this big at night, pitch black. I'm exhausted. I fall out of the boat twice. I mean, the little kayak. Now, I didn't want to do that. I did not want to go fishing. We have a memory now. My child has a memory of catching a big fat fish. We're going to cook it today. It was dead night. We argued a little bit because she didn't know what she was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I fell in the water. She's going to tell that story to her children. What could I have paid for that, dude? If I would have told you I'd have paid $10,000 for that, would that have been too much for memory? Seriously. Now, you're going to be sitting there going, 10 grand. The point I'm trying to make is you cannot place a dollar value on that experience. I see so many people. I had a woman the other night. I went on a date, lovely lady. And we don't know if we wanted to go on a date or if we just want to be friends. So she's like, hey, I think I'm going to go. She's 42. I think I'm going to go and travel the world for the next 2 to 3 years and be a digital nomad and just do my business from all over the world. And there's a part of me like wanting her to stick around so I can hang out with her and play. And I looked at her and went, dude, you should do that today. Immediately go. Like, while you're 42, do it now, man. Don't talk yourself into, well, when I have $8 million and I'm 69, and I can't ski, but I'm going to go to Vail. I'm going to go to Vail when I'm 69. I'm going to go hunting for girls when I'm 83. No, you're not, dude. Like, you can't even get it up when you're 83. You've literally just, like, the moments right now. I had a young man. First time I was looking at buying an airplane or getting into the private jet expense business. I was like, man, it's just, it's just a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Very different when your company's paying for it, big corporation. But guy said to me, he said, hey, Gary, let me ask you a question. Have you ever, paid too much for a great experience? I'm going to ask you to ask yourself that question. In fact, along with your authentic grade, I expect no one over a 7. If you're above a 7, come up. I want to talk to you, okay? You get where I'm going here, right? Value is not a number. That's why I can look at Bitcoin and go, oh, whoa, Bitcoin. For you guys, I know there's some people down there gagging, dude. They have been on this train for 4, 5, 6 years. See, I think this kind of belief system, although it could be very erratic and economic, this belief system and this thesis of Bitcoin is really brilliant. I think it's already helped a lot of people. Cannot believe that Bitcoin is actually taking me into this realm of teaching, helping, talking about Sundays, authenticity, value, truth. Truth is priceless, man. And we have so little of it. We have so little of it. Now, I'm not talking about the truth where, oh, I'm having a bad day and I don't want to do this anymore. And, I'm really emotional and I'm triggered, and who cares? Man up, dude. Okay, I'm not a 14-year-old little girl. I'm not 8. In fact, my 14-year-olds don't behave this way. They do. They go to the room and then they come down 6 hours later. Hey, I'm sorry, dude. That was bad. That was bad. I was hungry. It's usually hungry or sleep. And if it ain't hungry or sleep, they probably did something they're really guilty. They feel ashamed of. See, Leeway Art down there says, can't be authentic without submitting to God's will. I don't agree. And I don't agree because it's such a dogmatic comment. And I'm not trying to be, upsetting or disagreeable here, but I don't even know what submitting to God's will means. I barely know myself. I know when I'm not being authentic. Okay. I know when I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna really share that, or hard for me to be the most purposeful person I was supposed to be if I'm not being true to myself. So I don't really understand the part about, like, I'm not scared of God. Okay. I don't want to be scared of God. I ain't interested in having a God that I'm scared of. I don't think he's vengeful. I just don't get the whole thing. I think I've just been abused by so many religions that I just don't trust any of even the nomenclature, the dogmatic nomenclature, like surrender my will. Dude, I'm just trying to do the best I can. I don't even know what my will is. Okay. How can you know what your will is? I barely know 80% of myself, maybe probably even not 50%. Let me go through some of these comments. I'm just trying to sit with, all the things I wanted when I was a kid. I remember going to church. I actually wanted to get answers there. Very unlike going to school. I didn't have the same thing when I went to school, but I've been to a few different things that I went to become better. I went to become more whole. I went to um, discover, and that is my that I maintain that is my purpose in life, right? To discover, and maybe even again, the reason I do these because I'm gonna probably learn more here. Like I don't know anything, so if you're showing up here to learn something from me, like I am literally maybe just gonna learn myself. I will probably get more benefit out of this than all the people that ever listen. Weird the way that works. Weird. I learned so much from teaching. I have very little to teach other than, hey, look, these are my experiences. This is what it's been like for me. I made a ton of mistakes. I'm probably making mistakes this second. I'm probably minimizing my ability. I think I've grossly valued who I was. I've just, if there is a God, I can honestly tell you that I think I have grossly misrepresented his product. Really underutilized it, misrepresented it. Because my authenticity is not 100%. You're each authentic. The part is that how much of that, do you think you are is literally wrapped up in dad, mom, society, your boss, the clubs you join, the things you listen to and read and watch. And you don't open yourself up to others, other industries, other things, other music, other everything, and ask yourself, am I authentic or do I constantly mutate and morph into what I think the world wants to see? This starts at a very, very early age. It's most certainly stuck on steroids in schools. When was the last time in school, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, or any college you went to, spent 1 hour on visioning, imagination, much less asking? You could have a whole course on I am. Non-religious too, by the way. An entire freaking course. Every 3 years, children should, from the first grade, fourth grade, seventh grade, 10th grade, dude, they should be doing IAMs every year. It should be a fucking, real class. My God. It's so stupid, man. To stick some kid into a room, all the children are completely on different levels. You're treating them as if they are clones, feeding them shit for food for their brain after you fed them shit for food. And then you never ask them, hey, tell me who you are. You don't think Johnny at 7 years old knows what he is? Dude, I am a freaking rocket scientist. Just ask the kid, dude. He'll tell you. I'm a genius, man. I'm a general. Let him go with it. Let him build the whole story out, man. Okay, and I know because you grew through it. Okay, he'll burn through that storyline and then he'll end up in another storyline. And one day he's going to be like, hey, this is me. This is my novel. This is Bob or Rocket Rob or Gary Cardone, the digital Cardone, or shit, man, Gary, the priest or the educator, whatever, right? I continue to evolve. Imagine if I'm putting stops on myself all along the way. 18, can't show that kind of authenticity. Dude, I got married to 3 women because I didn't even know what I was supposed to be with a woman. Millionaire, very successful. I'm married 3 times. I'm so screwed up. I don't even know how to be authentic in a relationship. Really authentic. I mean, I was in Miami the other day, and a woman's there. And, hey, why don't you come? Come to Miami. We'd have a great time. I'm like, dude, I ain't living in Miami. You know why I'm not going to live in Miami? Because I have no interest in driving 40 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes to the airport. Because I value my time, dude. I'm not going to drive. I drove an hour and 20 minutes. Cost me $150 to go 8 miles. I got on a jet. It took me 36 minutes to get home. Okay. And the $7,000 I spent to get home, it was better value than the 150. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like for me, that is like I didn't like I'm irritated. I'm hot. Why would I want to live in Miami? Now, could I triple my business? I could probably 10x it. I still don't want to live in an hour and 20 traffic. I've done that before. I was in London. I am happy to do that in London. I ain't happy to do it in Miami. Furthermore, how they fix that bloody problem over the next 5 years, I don't even know. I think that problem gets worse. I'm a little off course, but the important part here, I think, is to start to understand what it is you're doing, who you are authentically, where you are on the scale of authenticity. Are you different in front of a woman than a man? Do you treat your boss differently than you do your employees? If you're a suck ass, I don't think you're authentic. Okay, I do not believe God made butt lickers as a value proposition and an authentic tool just so you could get a bonus. And I've seen a lot of these people. This is why this whole digital world is going to just rip the shreds out of legacy. You guys are so culturally screwed up. There is so little authenticity inside organizations now that everyone's playing a Machiavellian game. Everyone, man. And if you get a Mike Mack or Prometheus or Corey Beach, any of these guys, and they actually find the right platform and they're not arguing with each other, just rip these massive billion-dollar companies into shreds because internally they have no idea who they are. You go to Barclays Bank and ask them who they are. Well, we're a 420-year-old banking institution. And it's like, oh, wow. So you're a dinosaur and you're bragging about it. That's awesome. Could you please tell me what your core business is, sir? See, that to me, core, funny how I get to the near end of my little Sunday morning, but I need to understand who I am at my core, just like Barclays needs to understand who they are at their core. The why? Because the moment Barclays has lost its way, doesn't understand what its core value is to the population of the world that it serves, it's going to do a bunch of different things, and it's going to be mediocre at all of them. It will not be authentic. It won't have full value because they strayed off their main mission. My main mission in life is to be authentic and to be as comfortable as I possibly can with that. See, I didn't say, hey, I'm going to be authentic and comfortable every day. Maybe I should. Maybe I should start, I am authentic and I'm very, very cool with it. I got to tell you guys, okay? If you think my life is all smoothie doozy and I'm always confident and I'm always, hopefully you don't think I'm cocky, but I'm always like Mr. Chilly Willy and like, that's not true, okay? I'm scared. I don't sleep well. I wake up. I get worried. I have massive pain in my body. I have shit that I don't want to confront. And that's just the way it is, man. And I actually think there ain't anybody else that has it any freaking different. No one. No one at all. So it's 11:50. I've been doing this for an hour and 20. I'd like to maybe move through some of the comments and acknowledge the people that are here. Really, like we got 3,200 people that really want to say from the bottom of my heart, I've gotten more value out of this piece of my little journey, my Bitcoin journey, because I got to tell you, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Bitcoin. I'll stay here long after Bitcoin, by the way. Okay, Bitcoin was just, it's done something to me that I can't fully explain, but I'm quite certain if you took the same educational journey as I have, you will get to nearly the same point. Wellness, Bitcoin, productive as could be. Thank you for being here, sir. Relax. When you're right, sit tight. Even us little dogs have a shot. You do, most certainly. You're not a little dog, dude. See, I wouldn't call myself a little dog. I'd call myself a big, bad mofo dog. Little dogs turn into big dogs, and big dogs die. So everybody can be a big dog. You can be a big dog. Like, look, whether I have money or not, I have less money than my twin brother. I have less assets, less, noise, less toys. I could probably be a leader in this little space right here. Right? Just there's so many things that you guys can be top dog at. It's unbelievable. Just go pull the authentic pill. I think if you take the authentic pill and you say, look, I'm not going back, dude. If a guy like Cardone with all his, like me and my brother are pretty out there, man. We're not perfect by any stretch. And we seem to do okay with being maybe a tad more authentic than other people. Maybe we're just like, we don't give a fuck. I don't think that's true, by the way. I do care. I don't want to just, hey, I'm going to make a splash for making a splash. I'm not an engagement farmer. Thanks for being here, though, Rob. Appreciate you. You can be wealthy and be happy and nice. I will say that when I was 7 years old, I was in a Catholic church, and the priest said, the sermon was, it is easier for a camel to get through the head of a needle, the eye of a needle, than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. Something must be really weird with me, but I will tell you that I felt like something hit me in my chest very powerfully. I can still remember the wooden pew I was sitting on where, and I was like, that is going to be my life's journey. And it most certainly has been my life journey. Like, I have not let money destroy me or ruin me. And I'm really proud of that. It hasn't not messed with me from time to time. It is a challenge. Rob probably knows, okay? The more you have, the more you will be challenged, okay? Money is not like money. I'll tell you something. If you're unhappy and you get a bunch of money, you're still going to be unhappy. And you're probably going to be more unhappy than you are. It's a weird, weird thing. Look at the time, 11:10:11. What does that mean? Is that a magic number? 10:11 a.m. Good to be here. Thank you, Joanna. Good to have you. Joanna's a big follower. It's always around. Fluffy Fuff and banana hammocks. Cult of BC got you good. Yeah, Aiden. I don't see it as a cult actually anymore. It's really changed. I would say that it was really culty 2 years ago. It's really changed. Bitcoin's going through a real magnificent metamorphosis. You'll never see Bitcoin the way we used to see it. Let's see, speaker, mentor, and Arthur Man at 50 says, finding God is simple, just find yourself. See, there, I like that. Like, I went to the God, right? Hey, let me go find God, dude. It always comes back. Find yourself, man. Find yourself. Mike, I'm going to bring you up here in a second, just trying to go through some of these. Does a 6-year-old man on his 650R need a coffee? Yes, I need a coffee. I always need coffee, dude. I can get it for him. Oh, bring it, dog. Bring it. We are not human beings encountering a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings encountering a human experience. That is the power of I am, God's in the flesh of, Thank you so much, Crypto Billy. Hey, did you guys enjoy the I am session? And if you did enjoy it, do you think that it would be productive to go deeper in that and where people are sharing their stuff? A few little more comments. JMDDP. Human beings shouldn't have to trade time for value. Yeah. Exercise this week, guys. Okay. I'd like you to each to write down what is each hour of your life worth. Is it worth $15 an hour? Is it worth $30 an hour? 40, 50, 1,000? What is your life worth? Write it down on your mirror. If you tell me your life is worth $15 an hour, write that on a mirror, dude. And you should probably call the hospital, the ambulance, and tell them that there's a broken glass and a man bleeding in the bathroom. Because if you write that down, I am worth $15, you should fucking smash that guy in the face. Fucking hit him, dude. Smash him in the face. Okay, he is lying to you. Okay, you cannot possibly be worth $15 an hour. If you are, it's because you have chosen to be worth $15 an hour. No responsibility is $15 an hour. Okay, little to no responsibility. Awesome. You're 16 and you're starting a job. You're $15 an hour. $15 an hour makes you a problem to society, my friend. You're a problem. And 32 hours a week at $15 an hour, you're a huge problem. You're a huge problem to your family. You're a huge problem to your children. You're a huge problem to your husband and everyone around you. I am not willing to listen to this bullshit excuse. Hey, I'm not making enough money. You ain't working hard enough. Okay? Like, you want to bitch at me because I fly in a private jet? I have never worked 40-hour weeks. I'm not working 40-hour weeks now. Okay, I've never, ever worked 40-hour weeks. For 8 years, I didn't work on Fridays, but I still worked 100 hours a week, man. I never worked on Fridays. I literally had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I still worked 100 hours a week. So value is my time being placed into the right activities, not golf every morning, by the way, with a bunch of wankers smoking cigars at 6:30, bitching about their wives. That ain't value for me, dude. Okay. Value for me is maybe sitting down and reading a book, meditating. Wow, really? Sit down and read a book, meditate? Yeah. Like look inside. Okay. I am. Who the hell am I? I am. See? Oh, who am I? No, I am. It's a very different. Like you just shifted some words around, man. Quit asking yourself, who am I? Start saying, I am a good writer. Okay. And then I'm actually better than a good writer. I'm a great writer. I am a really good father. I'm an attentive husband. I'm an attentive dad. I listen to my children when they're talking to me, comma, parentheses, not just when it's convenient for me. Like, I am a good dad, dude. Like, I made a decision on being a good dad the day my wife told me the girl told me she was pregnant. There was never going to be, I'm going to be kind of good. I am a fucking awesome father. And these children will look back at me and go, okay, that guy didn't want to go fishing. I hope she sees this thing. Dude, I didn't want to go fishing last night. I've caught so many fish. And my leg was all busted up. And literally, Mac, you would die laughing. I fucking fell out of the boat twice. And I dropped my phone in the water. Had to jump in there to get it. But, that was, look, I'm able to come here and share the story. People are laughing in here right now. I guarantee you there's a guy in here going, dude, I've done that so many times. My kids suffered. Um, I'm not trying to, pat my back and do all that. I'm just saying that I would have paid a huge amount of money for that experience. Right. And I was cranky with her too, man. I was a little cranky. I didn't really win. She said, "Hey, are you okay, man?" I was, she wasn't doing some stuff right. Wind picked up at 50. I was cranky. It could have been just a wonderful experience. Instead, I had to poo-poo on it because it wasn't convenient for me. One of the impressive qualities I enjoy about you, Gary, is your ability to reflect and derive meaning from your experiences. Thank you very much, man. I think, funny how I've had so many mistakes that I keep having to learn the same lesson over and over and over and over again. So, Freddie King says, Gary Cardone, if I am authentic, I will piss off a lot of people. Well, maybe. I mean, if your intention is to piss off a lot of people, I will tell you something, and I would have said that to you also. That would have been a response of mine 20 some odd years ago. And I was angry then, Freddie. I was angry. And I wanted other people to be wrong. So I don't know if that's true for you, but I was just a little angry and needed to calm down. This is going to be the last. I am authentic at a 9. I don't lie to myself or to anyone else to a fault. I am true. I would like to have more patience with people sometimes. Well, dude, A1, you're doing good if you're a 9. I'd be impressed if you are. But if you come back a couple of weeks to say the same thing, I'll be really impressed. So we have a few things to do, and then I'm going to bring up Mike because I haven't talked to Mike in a while. We have a few things to do. One, we're going to refine our work on I am. And if you guys want to have a session next week on I am, I will do these every Sunday. I think a deeper thing into I am, actually people sharing their, hey, what happened would be cool. 2, I need you to mark down where you are on a scale from authenticity. One thing that would be really good to do is go around and ask people, hey, how do you judge me is authentic? 10 people tell you, I think you're full of shit. Might want to look at it. In particular, if you think you score really high. And it's not necessary to do, just kind of interesting experiment. And you're going to find out what your core is. Okay. The whole thing is, who am I at my core? I'm a nuclear reactor. I have to get to my core. I have to understand what I stand for. I stand for something. I don't bend, dude. I stand for it and I fight for it. I don't see enough people fighting for what they believe in. Okay. If people are going to be pissed off at you, dude, they're going to be pissed off at you. Now you have to figure out, Freddie, and all the Freddies out there, is it the way you're saying it or is it what you're saying? Because it's usually the way you say it. I am really proud of the wisdom. Can't believe I just used that word, but the wisdom that I have been given and navigate between the TradFi world, the old legacy world, and Bitcoiners, the most extreme. I have, and you know how I have been. One, I know my shit. 2, I never allowed for this bullying to occur. I'm not getting pushed around. Okay, there's just some things that the Bitcoin purists, just wrong. Okay, just absolutely incorrect on. In particular on how adoption occurs. The way adoption is occurring right now is the way adoption occurs. It was never going to be Joe user, Joe consumer, ever. Now it's most certainly going to accelerate here at a rapid rate. So you're going to figure out what your core is. Okay, that's your job. What am I? Who am I? My core. Mommy is not going to tell you. Dad can't tell you. Your mentor can't tell you. Your coach, your teacher, your boss can't tell you. If you're uncomfortable right now in any part of your life, it is because you are being not authentic. If you're uncomfortable in the job you're in every day, it's because you hate your job. You don't like your job. It's not in line with your value system or your authenticity. In fact, your discomfort may be even telling you something different, which is, hey, you're off point here. Like, it's important for me to go into the ditch. I learn nothing when life's going well. Dude, when life's smooth and shit, Bitcoin's at 80, ain't I smart to buy all that damn Bitcoin? I've tripled my net worth. Who cares, dude? Let's say I was worth $500 million and now I'm worth $2 billion. Have I changed in 2 years? No, dude, I haven't changed. It's still Gary. Oh, I can buy a nicer coat. Oh, okay, cool. But at the end of the day, like, it's just a number, right? That's a zero. There's zeros. There's zeros, and I'm judging myself against who I am, whether I'm nice, nasty, or kind, attentive, and more importantly, if I'm willing to put up and push back and go, no, that's wrong. Wrong, and I'm willing for you, A, B, C guy, to not like me. For instance, there were some people in the Bitcoin community, I really like them, but they got really crazy about this election. And there's no way these people could actually support Kamala Harris. It wasn't even good for the industry. I mean, they've done themselves a lot of damage. Reputationally, they've done themselves a lot of damage. Well, actually, I think people are going to be like, hey, when are you, like, if you weren't being, when can I trust you? See, trust for me, dude, I don't care if I don't really like you or dig you. Maybe your music's different or whatever, but trust and being able to rely on another human being, there isn't any amount of money that I give you, dude. There is only one thing that's more valuable to me than trust, and that's love. And that trust and love, they all come together. Okay. If my daughters betray me over and over, like, they will get cut off. Okay. If they go stupid. So anyway, Mike, I'd like to bring you up, Mike. I'm probably only going to bring Mike up because I don't want this to go too long in the tooth. Buddy, what do you think? And I'd like some maybe feedback on how this is going. You know, I'm not asking you to, kiss up, but does this make sense? Authenticity, value, the value piece, not money. Is Bitcoin worth $33,000? For me, it was like, wow, Bitcoin's bringing me a lot of value, man. Like, I didn't know Mike. I didn't know Michael Saylor. I can now get a meeting with some of the biggest players in the world, not because I'm doing Sunday church, but because I got involved in Bitcoin at a really deep level. And then I started meeting all these wonderful people, valuable people. And it's really made me go down this rabbit hole of trying to quantify value outside of a number. You know what I'm saying? So because we do get caught up in money and the numbers, but how many authentic people do you think you have met in your life that exceed authenticity above 8?
That's a good question. I have, I really think my parents are authentic. They've been together for 70 something years. I think, the blunt honesty that I have not liked for a majority of my life coming from them, I believe is part of their authenticity. Authentic though, the way that you're talking about it, authenticity, if anybody claims to be authentic, they're not as authentic as they could be, right? Because to be authentic, you have to realize I could be more authentic, right?
Yep.
And so it's kind of a paradox. It's kind of a catch-22 that you can never claim to be it, because if you do, then you're not it as much as you could be. But I agree with you, though. I think that, I think when you were talking about earlier, you were saying, when you get older, you start wanting to spend more time with, family and things that are important because, and I don't know if we talked about this before, but when you're 10 years old, you've lived an entire life that's 10 years. And so each one of those 10 years are giant segments. But as you get to be closer to 100, instead of being 1/10, now your life is 1/100th. And so it's faster and it's quicker. They're smaller. And so they're more valuable. And I think that as you get older, you realize that time is the value. So, if you come in to support someone in a space, let's say, like I know, and I've always appreciated you, coming into my space and you've brought a lot of attention to the things that Destiny and I talk about. That kind of time is something you could be doing else. That's something else you could be doing in your life. So those moments that you're in that space, you can never get those moments back. You gave them to me. And because like you said, it is finite, even though it's not true, it's infinite, but it is finite as far as we recognize it.
Yeah.
Those are finite. Those are pieces of finite value that you're giving to me that they're mine now, and you don't get them back. And to give that away to somebody else is really the greatest piece of authenticity I think that anybody can have, because you're telling them to their face, I want you to have something that I value enormously. That means that I believe in you. I trust you to some degree. Like I'm trying to do something to be a part of something bigger. And anyway, rambling on a little bit, but it's interesting to talk about because you can't define it. And you just it's almost like you're wandering through the woods, and every time you think you find something, there's like, oh, look at that tree. That is so cool looking. And you can't, but it's the journey that I think is, and I say, look, I say this as a Christian, and like you said, not to get on anybody in the comments, but the moment the whole point of grace as a gift, a free gift, to say, I don't understand who you are, but you said that if I asked you, you would do it. Okay. Just like that. That's it. That's the end of it. That's the beauty of what that is as a gift of time, a gift of grace. There is I'm not better than you if I've been a Christian longer than you. I'm not better than you if Billy Graham versus someone who became a Christian yesterday, or someone who trusted. Like, you are the exact same, because it's a gift. There's nothing you can do to earn it. It is only a gift. And I think the gift of time that we give each other, I think, is a gift similar to that. So I'm ranting a little bit with that, but I did put down on your scale authenticity. I put down an 8. I took a picture of it because I know a lot of things I say piss people off. I know that when I do spaces, I don't always stay on track. I know I don't invest in as much Bitcoin as maybe I did XRP. But I like to see people's reaction to that. I like that interaction of that, if they don't like it, if they do like it, because I get to see you being authentic. And I think we can find some kind of communication there. I think that's the best part, is to see if we agreed with everybody. That would really suck. Like, that would not be that much fun. But going out fishing with your daughters, again, that is a memory you're going to have forever. They'll have it forever. Their kids will have it forever. The people that are watching this show will have it forever. They will actually tell that story to other people, and that will spread like a virus. And it all came because you went fishing when you did not want to. And the worst part about the trip is that you fell over into the water twice. That was the worst part of the trip, but that's the part that everybody will remember. That will be the best part in the future, is the fact that not that you caught the fish, but the fact that Gary Cardone caught the little fish, the girl caught the big fish, and the big Gary Cardone actually was huge. It fell into the freaking water. That's the story.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it. That's what I'll remember from it.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to the adventure, right? And the hourly, like you need to write down, hey, what's your value, right? By hour, because I think the reason I asked that question is, if you can value who you are in an hourly rate, you grossly undervalue who you are. I have literally seen partners of mine, tell you a freaking funny story. And this is a person that it ended up having I was starting to get seriously irritated with. But a man called me once and said, hey, your services, I'd like to rent your partner, because she's brilliant, for some consulting. I said, yeah, no problem, dude. It's $10,000 an hour. Guy calls her a week later, same guy. She quotes him $800 an hour. Now, who values that person more? Does she value herself, or do I actually value her more? And she hates me. I'm like, whoa, dude, why would you do that for $800 an hour? I mean, that you are one of 20 people on the planet. And like you can't even 10 grand's not the right value. In fact, you should tell the guy it's 10 grand an hour and it's a 5-hour minimum. I mean, that's the way I approach my time and my knowledge. I think they're really valuable to people doing something for $15 an hour. I'm not saying you don't go to work for $15 an hour, but you can't possibly value yourself at $15 an hour. In fact, you cannot put a dollar figure on it. That's my point. There is no figure. If you told me, hey man, my time's worth $1 billion and I become a prostitute, get after it.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And listen, I know people that make this mistake. Their life, like Steve Jobs, his last letter was, hey, I fucked it up, dude. I would not repeat this again. I wasted a lot of my time working on something instead of me and others. So just this value thing, like if I start to appreciate, and this is like Simon on the Bitcoin thing, like Simon has a viewpoint that I'm very empathetic of because he no longer has to work. He has created enough wealth where he now has his own, I'm not speaking for him, but I suspect if somebody took this and said, hey, is this right, Simon? He's sitting there, had made enough money and enough mistakes that he's like, I don't have to get on the rat race. I can actually bring my authentic self, and I don't really care if you don't like it. This is what I believe in. And so far, I've seen very few people who can knock him off his data. And he could not do that had he not really valued what is the most important thing here. He could go make another $1 billion with me quite easily. We could do some shit together, right? But instead, he's hunkered down talking to the world. I think he's more valuable to the world on a camera and a microphone than he is investing in XYZ coin. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, he's something else.
But you see the point, right? I'm not trying to get stuck on him.
Yeah, no, but you're right that the value that he brings, a perspective, whether you agree with him or not, it is valuable because he can articulate it in a way that other people don't necessarily articulate it. Say again?
He's become a master. See,
he's a master. Yes.
He didn't settle for, hey, I'm going to go make some more money. I'm going to really get into this subject and be authentic. This is where my core is.
Yeah.
I believe in this. Ooh, other people aren't going to like me. Fuck it. He doesn't say it that way. He's just like, well, so sorry. Hey, I'm going to be on Spaces. Watch, he's going to reduce his space time now because he knows it's not going to get taken away. The reason he was doing it is like, hey, as long as it's available today, I'm using this platform to show my core, to express my authentic, and to help share value with other people. Like if we all started to understand, oh wow, everyone brings a value, man.
Doesn't it? But don't you think though it has to come down, like you were talking about earlier, about trust is really the number one thing. You not only do you have to trust others, but you have to trust yourself that either that you know what you're talking about or that you don't care if what you're saying is not accepted by other people. Like you have to trust the fact that I'm not going to break down if somebody counters me. I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? Like trust seems like it just permeates itself through every little aspect of what, and I guess you could say that trust is honesty, truth. The truth will set you free. These axioms that we've heard all our lives, like being able to tell the truth really helps you. It really helps you get through the day. Like to know that I never have to worry in the back of my mind about what I said 3 weeks ago, because if you ask me that question today, I'm going to answer it the same way I did then. And so there's never be like, oh my God, crap, what did I say? Now I was honest with you then. I'll be honest with you now. which I think brings that authenticity. I am honest. I am a truthful person that you can rely on. And if other people don't pick up on that, I can honestly say that is on them. It's not on me. And I think that makes me feel good as well. And I think, and going back to Simon, I like the way Simon approaches things, even though there's quite a few things that I disagree with him about, like fundamentally, like as far as, Israel and some other things and the way he sees it. But I could tell he's being authentic to himself, which I respect a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty good. But I want to say one quick thing real fast about time. There are days that I will not go into work. If it's 35 degrees outside and it's misty and it's dark and gray and it's cold, there are days I call in to work and I do not go in. It doesn't happen very often, but I value those days in that environment so much in my life. The surrounding, where I'll sit outside, no noise, no nothing, a cup of coffee, and I sit out in the balcony and it's magic to me. I cannot explain what that is. Maybe it's something from the future or my past, but I cannot envelop myself in enough in that. And one time my wife and I we drove out of town to go to these Christmas lights and stuff like this. And the entire drive up to College Station was like that. When I got there, it was cold and freezing and misty and wet and the whole night. And when I got in the car to go home, I literally teared up because I was so overwhelmed that it gets to me right now, right? It gets, just talking about it now does it to me because I was so overwhelmed by the moment. What that moment is, I don't know, but I cannot give those moments up. I will not give them away. That value to me is too strong. And so I don't value money over that moment, and I think that if we recognize those moments that we value like that, are we willing to sacrifice other things to get that value from those moments? And I think I'm all right in that area. I think I'm pretty good in that. Probably could be better, but I think I think that you're going through that right now, right? When you do these spaces, you talked about 1 to 2 hours of prep, right? And the worry that goes through it. But then you're also saying, well, then you get off track and then you may question, well, why did I do so much prep? And then you're nervous about, I think that like all of that, and then telling us and telling everybody that you're feeling like that you're fearful. And then reminding people that other people are also feeling the same way and that we all go through that. That is doing nothing but solidifying other people's confidence in themselves, saying, well, if Cardone is fearful and Cardone is afraid and Cardone looks at value like this and he's nervous and he's preparing, but all the preparation he did still threw him off topic. That makes other people say, well, maybe I could be like that. Maybe I could feel like that in myself, which is church on Sunday and allowing people to think, I feel better. And I think that's
listen, at the core of what I'm trying to do, that is what I'm trying to do here. Like I see so many people on so many different platforms that literally, whether it's CNN or X or LinkedIn or NBC, dude, these people are like really trying to exploit others and get a reaction. And I would like to get that's why I was like, hey, this Sunday thing is going to be cool. I think a lot of people are going to want to come here because there are very few places I can go to anymore and listen to somebody for an hour pontificate on a subject. And I walk away and go, okay, well, that, like, you can go listen to somebody. Maybe next week there'll be another guy talking about something. I think it's good for me to go listen to people sometimes and say, hey, well, what does another human being think? He's just going to yak for a while and talk about some meaningful life things. I'm not sure why we're not teaching these in school. They're most certainly exercises that children can do. And let me tell you, my kids, dude, I'm seeing things my kids do now. Like one of my kids is planning a party Saturday and she's doing what dad does, dude. She gets out a big old piece of paper and starts drawing the whole thing out. I'm just watching her going, whoa, that is wild. Wow. And then she wants to show it to me, right? Hey, look, this is the plan, man. And so I'm seeing my children without me going, hey, you need to do visioning work. You know what they need to see? Wow, they saw their dad doing this shit.
How does that make you feel as a dad when you see your daughter do that?
I used to be in England. You see these that wall back there. I had glass in an apartment that was probably 40 feet long. And at night, when they went to bed, I'd have a big marker and I'd start marking my goals and what I was doing. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to sell this business. And they'd wake up in the morning, bringing black shit all over these walls. And they're looking at, look, they've taken in all of this. They've taken it all in. They didn't, like somebody asked me the other day, hey, does your kids know what you do? Not a chance. I never spent any time talking to them about it. They watch me. And now I see a kid drawing it. And I'm like, okay, it's not that she's going to follow that. She may lose it. Dude, it's embedded in her brain now, in her soul, whatever that is, whatever I really am, which I do not believe I am a soul. I do not believe that there's a soul hanging around here. I think I am that. It's not like the soul. Dude, I am the soul. I am it. This is, Gary is a little skin bag. Like I cut my arm off, dude, I'm still here. Like most certainly. You and I, our relationship isn't going to change one iota if I cut my arm off. Right? Still got my brain, still have my spirit. I might be a little angry, might be in some pain, but that proves to me that I am not my body. They're under no condition am I my body. I can cut parts of it off and I'm still hanging with you. I'm not less. I am not less spiritual entity because I cut my finger off. But I should be, right?
That's what we tell ourselves, yeah.
See, this is the way I do the reverse, man. Doing the reverse is a cool thing. Hey, if I had less in me, would I be less? No, I actually would not be less. Interesting. All right. Hey, Mike, thank you very much for being here, buddy. By the way, well, I'll leave that comment to another meeting, but very good to have you here. Hope to have you back again next Sunday. And I'm enjoying doing these. I think they probably need to be shut down to like 1 hour 20, maybe 1:10. But really appreciate you being here and you being as authentic as you are and as authentic as you will be in the future, no matter what that looks like, buddy. I think it's awesome value for everyone.
Appreciate you having me, brother.
Thank you, pal. So guys, I'm going to close up here. I want to thank all of you for being patient with me as I learn how to do this. Hopefully I'm bringing value. If I can do more to bring value, I would love your comments. Okay. At Gary Cardone, you can just smash a bunch of comments on X. I plan on doing this as much on X as I possibly can. I'm going to support Elon. If Elon wanted me to clip YouTube from this thing, I'd clip YouTube right now until they start behaving correctly. I might just clip them anyway because I'm irritated with Google. Hell, I might clip everybody. I'm an all-in guy. I actually think we should bet behind those people that we really trust and value. Also on this trust and thing, I actually think trust is the wrong word. I want people to respect me. And I don't care if you do business with me, if you like me, don't like me, or trust me. If you respect me, I am very certain that trust is going to be extremely close. Does not mean that you shouldn't verify with me. I'm very cool with someone not trusting me. Verify. But respect. Okay. Respect allows me to be able to go to someone and say, hey, I have an issue here. I entered into a contract with you, but man, it's really got me upside down now. And I respect you enough to come talk to you about it. Is there a way for us to work this out so you're not at risk and you don't lose anything, but I also have something that I can digest easier? See, for me, that's the way I handle a problem is, hey, I have an issue. It's not your issue. It's my issue. And if we could just deal like that in every part of our lives, it would be so cool. So let's see if we can move up our authenticity. If you found yourself like you're really low, by the way, I think most people are really low. There's no way I'm more than 7. And I'm about as authentic as I know. I mean, I've lost millions and millions of dollars because people didn't like me. Because I was just, nah, this is my truth. I'm not gonna dilute it. It's the way I believe. Period. It doesn't mean I have to be an asshole about it, by the way. I can be respectful. I can be nice. See, wanting, requiring the respect more than the like or the trust is a very operative thing for me. If you respect me, that means I will be able to debate with you. And even if you don't like me, then I'm still in good grace with you because you're like, hey, that guy, you might want to listen to him because he's not stupid. I respect the way he approaches a problem. He's been fair and reasonable and honest, straight up. My father told me when I was 7 years old, won't be 1 year before he died, he said, there is only one thing that no one can take from you, son. No one, I don't care how big, how bad, who they are, they cannot take the reputation of your last name. And he told me that enough times, and then my mother reinforced that. And I tell you what, it's been a guiding principle for me. You can not like me, you can say shit about me, but if you respect me, that has more lasting value to me, my family, and I think to others over the long haul. It's been pretty effective so far. So I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep trying to be as authentic as I can. If I can set an example for you, because I think sometimes people people like me that have some wealth or wrote a book or do conferences or they're on TV, they put them up on a mantle and they go, look, these people are perfect. That's why they say never meet your heroes. I am far from perfect. I'm as authentic as I possibly can be without, like, I don't run around all day going, I must be authentic. It's not something you should be doing. It should just be, the more authentic you are, man, it makes it easier for me to be authentic. But even if you aren't, I'm going to keep doing my thing. Love you guys. Would ask that you do something really special and nice for somebody today. They do not have to know about it. You don't have to tell anybody. In fact, I would encourage you not to tell anyone about it and to pick somebody out that maybe you don't think is authentic as you could be, as you'd like to be, or it doesn't matter. Just go do something nice for somebody and you're going to have an awesome day. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to go hang out with my kids, try to find a dress with the one that hates buying dresses. You know, they're going through that freaking weird phase where they got muscle, they got fat, they got like, you know, they're just all over the place. Both great kids, but wow, what a time to be growing up. Guys, thank you very much. God bless you. May all your dreams, your prosperity, may your core hit high fusion levels and you just explode onto the world stage, okay? No one is going to accuse you of being too brilliant, too bright, have too much love, care too much. Nobody's bitching about Elon. Everyone will remember Donald Trump for being out there. So go bust some balls, figure out who you are, break the glass. If you can't figure out who you are, go break some glass and you will figure out who you are. Just commit, man. Commit. You fail, you'll figure it out, okay? The more I commit, the more I find out about myself. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.